And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roll, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
Orange 25! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What do you think?
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go. Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting with the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Good morning. You are taking a live look right now in Starbase, Texas, where Ship 38 is getting ready to roll out ahead of its pre-flight testing. Boy, it has been a while, and it is good to be back with Starbase ship content. I am Sawyer Rosenstein. I will be your host for this morning's roll. And of course, as always, I am not alone. Well, last time I was on the air for something like this, I had Jack and Max with me, and things kind of blew up. So it's a good thing we don't have anyone from that original stream back, right, Jack?
Yeah. Wait, no, I'm here. Uh-oh. Luckily, no static fire or any sort of propellant activities planned for tonight, so just a ship roll on tap.
Hopefully that is all that is on tap tonight. And of course, also joining us tonight for commentary is Ryan Weber. Ryan, how's it going?
Going fantastic. Maybe I can cancel out some of the bad juju, but then again, it's me, so probably not. It'll probably just make it worse. But we're here anyways. We're here to watch 38 roll to Massey's to get cryo tested. The last ever Block 2 ship that's gonna fly. If it flies, that is, at this rate.
Yeah, the if's always on that. And yeah, last time it blew up, it was Kevin Michael Reed producing, and tonight is another KMR special. DJ KMR getting things kicked off here. So thank you for staying up with us or waking up early with us, depending on where you are. As always, if you have questions, you can tag us at NASASpaceflight, and we will do our best to answer as many of your questions as we can. So let's start things off here with the fact that, again, Ship 38 rolling out to Massey's. Last time we saw Massey's, it was kind of a bit destroyed, at least parts of it. But it seems like they're going to be able to do these cryo tests out there, Ryan.
Yeah, I think 38 could have been ready a little bit while ago, but when the anomaly occurred at Massey's, I don't know what we want to call it. Ship 36 blew up, whatever. They had to cut all the main power to Massey's to prevent any other issues from occurring while they cleaned up the mess, took out power, took out all that other stuff. So they kind of needed to get it into a state where they could even cryo stuff again, and they're there now. So it's kind of good because we were hoping 38 would get out, get cryoed, get back, get its engines on. Especially if they want to try to make it in time to do it alongside 37, which is slated to roll tomorrow night. But I mean, we'll see if they pull that off or not.
Get cryoed, losers. Yep. So at this point, though, it doesn't have any of its engines or anything on like that, right?
No, it's even missing its aft flaps. It's got its forward ones, though. It's complete enough to be filled with cryogenic fluids, all the valves tested, computers on board. It's complete enough to do that, but it's going to need a few more additions before they can stick engines on it and fire it. The question is, how long will that take them once they get it back, I guess?
Yeah, plus the heat shield on this one looks, what's a polite word, janky at the moment. So
It's just unfinished. I mean, first off, why spend a bunch of time working on the heat shield for this thing before you even know much about a Block 2 heat shield's performance? in reentry. Second off, why spend that much time working on the heat shield on this thing if you don't even know you're going to fly it on an actual flight? I mean, I think we all sort of expect 38 to fly on flight 11 after 37 flies on flight 10, but as we've seen in the Starship program with like ship 16 and 17 and 18 and 19 and a bunch of other ones I'm probably forgetting, but you get the point. Sometimes they skip ships, and as Ryan said, 38 is the last of its generation. Now, again, I expect it to fly, but I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky, but don't be down on the heat shield. It's fine. It's fine. They got plenty of time, and the parts that are completed look really good.
I will agree, yes, the parts that are done do look really, really nice. And it's not like they haven't had time to try and get the heat shield tested in actual flight or anything, you know.
I mean, sorry, you cut me deep. But there's been some sort of change to how they do the gap fill, and even on ship 36, RIP, it looked great. Like the heat shield looked great. So I'm looking forward to 37 rolling out and seeing a more complete heat shield. And so I'm not super down on 38s, but I get it. It does look kind of janky as it's so unfinished.
Some
Exactly.
of the parts on 38, and I even saw most of this on 37 because we've gotten kind of just glimpses of it sitting over there in the corner, but they're doing that same gap filler, which is basically taking the cowl or whatever you want to call it. It's basically felt, and they cut it into they cut it into the hexagon shape as a heat shield tile is. And they cut little basically just cut pieces in it, and then they fold those parts up to cover the gaps of the tiles. So they have to do that for every single tile on the tank side, and so that's for 15,000 tiles that they have to do that for.
Yeah, but if you think about it, compared doing that with an origami gap fill thing under every tile sounds like a pain. But when you compare that to having to gap fill every single tile from the outside, like trying to wedge a piece of felt in between each tile, that seems really annoying. And you might crack a tile in that process if you push the tool and it nicks the side.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at 38 and you see on its bottom, on its aft section there by the heat shield, all of those white hexagons, and you're like, what's going on there? That's that new whatever they're doing with the gap fill. I'm sure there's a fun SpaceX name for it.
Yeah, and again, it's worth noting this is not new spaceflight technology. The Space Shuttle, there you go, mentioned it early enough on, had a similar deal where it had that kind of thermal felt in a way underneath it that they would then place the tile on top of to act as sort of that gap, again, the gap filler between the metallic structure of the vehicle and the, for Shuttle, the silica parts of the tiles.
Yeah, fun fact, Unity, Virgin Galactic spacecraft, also used gap fill. In fact, I think I remember a story, this could be apocryphal, I think I remember a story from a factory tour once where George Whiteside said that they bought up a whole bunch of surplus frizzy or something they called it, gap fill from NASA at one point. And I was like, hey, but what happens when you run out? But what about when you run out? But yeah, I'm sure Dream Chaser, probably even Dragon in any spacecraft, in some spots is going to have gaps that need filling. So yeah, not a unique thing to Starship.
And in fact, 20 years ago to the day was the launch of STS-114, the return to flight following Columbia. And one of the things that they tested on that flight was adding gap fillers mid-mission while they were in orbit.
Didn't they determine that they would probably cause more damage trying to add the gap fill than the good that they would do by adding it?
It worked okay. Obviously, it was not the ideal situation, but they proved they could kind of do it if they had to.
Yeah, I guess it's better to have the option if you need it than just have no options.
Just saying, you would know that happened on this day if you follow the NSF socials because they post some of the cool on this day stuff.
Speaking of shuttle stuff on this day, it's after midnight, so it's Sunday. So there's going to be Shuttle Sunday later today. Haha.
Always be plugging, right?
Coffee is for pluggers.
For those of you wondering where 37 is, 38 is, I should say, it is on Remedios. SpaceX recently finished a massive renovation of Remedios Avenue, where it used to be kind of a small asphalt road that just ran to the back of the rocket garden. You could actually go back there and see the vehicles, and I can't do that anymore. They kind of made it all private property, but they have now widened it, increased the drainage, and they can now roll ships and boosters down this road. So going through Sanchez is no longer a thing, which is kind of nice.
And this is also the second ever roll of a vehicle here in the city of Starbase, Texas, right?
Yeah, since it was officially the last one, 36. Oops.
Yeah. Well, was that 36 first, or what about 37 Cryo?
37's Cryo was... Well, the question... Oh, 37's Cryo was right at the end of May. So that becomes the question, and it rolled back on June 4th. I don't remember when the ratification of the vote was, off the top of my head. So...
By the way, Isabel asking who is in the field tonight. I neglected to mention, besides Jack in the field, we also have Caesar out in the field providing views for us, and I believe Dan is out there too, right, Jack?
No, Dan had a busy day, so he's an EP boy, and he's gonna get recharged for some early ops tomorrow because we are. It's a marathon in Starbase, not a race. There is 37's roll tomorrow, and then a busy week of static fires and stuff. So just Caesar and me out tonight, but thank you for mentioning that. Caesar is out here. Caesar's going to be behind the ship. I'm going to be in front of the ship, and we'll see how that goes. Speaking of how it's going, though, really quickly, I want to note that I have not seen any law enforcement tonight. I feel like normally by now there would have been some law enforcement active on Highway 4, perhaps staging over by Massey Way, and staging over by the production site. Like, I don't see any blue and red lights right now. Where are the blue and red lights?
I see some here, right at...
Well, I mean, the base of the ship, yeah.
Yeah, right at the base of the ship. I wonder if there's a single...
Right, yeah. I see them now, too. They just came around the corner from my perspective. Okay, never mind.
So, can they static fire in the rain, Jack?
I don't see any gold bars falling from the sky. It's quite odd. Normally, by now, there'd be some gold bars really just falling right out of the sky.
Yeah, if only.
And there it goes on to Highway 4.
Gotta love these close-up views also.
I wonder if there's anything new on this ship.
We'll take a look as it goes. But one thing I saw that was interesting was someone pointed out, Severin asking, why does Ship 38 have its forward flaps when Ship 37 didn't at the time of its cryo test? Is that kind of just they had extra time in the flow because of downtime, or any thoughts, Jack?
It's just not that point in its flow. Typically, aft flaps are the kind of thing that get installed near the end of the flow of a ship build, honestly, like near when it's going to roll out for static fire. So,
but doesn't this have just some flaps or no?
Yeah, it's got forward flaps. It's got forward, just not aft.
Yeah, 37 didn't. For those of you wondering why 37 didn't have aft flaps, for whatever reason, SpaceX did not install them on the nose cone before it left Star Factory. They did install aft flaps on 33, 34, 35, 36, and 38 before it left the Star Factory, but not 37. I don't know why. They just didn't. So, maybe they didn't have them yet. Because, yeah.
When in doubt, because SpaceX. And the only reason that we're able to do what we do in bringing these views is because of viewers like you. I want to thank Ninja Decimator, pew pew pew, for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. XD9 gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Really appreciate that tonight, everyone. And Johnny, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership as well.
Speaking of the new gap filler.
Yeah, exactly. Again, janky was probably the wrong word for it. Incomplete is
It's
the
just
nicer way to put it.
unfinished.
You know, I was being defensive. It definitely looks It definitely looks janky. Like, you're not wrong. It looks janky, but also it's not always going to look that way. It's just incomplete.
True.
They get crews working. 37 is the priority. Their priority was to do 37's heat shield and all of its gap filler that they needed to do. If they had spare time, work on 38. But the biggest thing was get 37 done so they could get it out for get it out for static fire testing, and that its heat shield was. I hope it's done when it rolls out, like done, so that when they roll it back after static fire, they don't have much else to do. But they're going to have a significant downtime period between when it static fires and when they can launch, because it's going to take a while to convert that pad back. So,
And that brings up.
I don't think we've.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, it brings up a question from Jake, who's saying, do you think this test leads towards supporting a 37-38 test first before Flight 10, asking what the turnaround time is before cryo and static fire?
normally the turnaround after a cryo is about a month between when they can stick the engines on and when it's ready for static fire. It depends on if SpaceX could skip a few of the things, because can they get to the ship to a point where it can just static fire, and maybe it's a longer ways away from flight than it would normally be. Like, they don't need the aft flaps on for static fire. They don't. Those are inconsequential to a static fire. So they can forego that. They can even forego doing the heat shield before they static fire. So there's a lot of little things they can do. They can skip to try to get it static fired. So they could try to do that and get it out there and test it. But then there comes the problem of, well, what if 37 encounters a problem and then you want to test 38 and you've already dismantled the whole thing and you got to put it back together again on pad A? That becomes your major issue. Then you would either have to put it back together, or you just send 38 and hope for the best. If you run into a problem on 37, the question is, would the FAA even allow that, depending on what happens to 37? So that kind of puts into question a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is going to be highly dependent upon Flight 10, and assuming that Ship 37 will be the one to fly Flight 10, given its readiness at this point. Which, along those lines, we were kind of talking about that. How long do you think it's going to take to convert back from once they do the Ship 37 static fire and then take out the Star Stool?
I am gonna go with 2 weeks. They have to basically, so what it looks like they're going to do right now is they're going to roll 37 out. Either it's going to have a QD plate already on it, or they're going to attach one before they lift it or after they lift it. And then that QD plate is going to be chained or secured to the ship, and then they're going to have to hook the hoses to it. Well, once they finish this testing, they're going to have to take the QD plate off, take the hoses off, take the ship off, take all the lines they've installed off, literally cut the truss sections they have welded to the booster QD hood. Those have to come off. The ship stand has to come out, along with the adapters that they've bolted to the hold-out arm. So take all the bolts out, then take that out. And then they have to take steel plates, weld them over the holes that they have cut in the booster QD hood, hook all the lines back up to the booster QD, and then put all 20 booster clamps and their shims together in the correct position, and then test the whole thing again, make sure the software is back to where it should be, and then they're good to go. So,
not much.
there's not much they have to do.
And then the other thing that we were kind of talking about before we went live was, like, Jack, I'll throw this one to you. What do we think we expect to see potentially damage-wise after the after static fire?
I mean, that's a good question. It could be anything from nothing to some minor damage to the mount that requires a couple days of work. Like, who knows? Maybe more. I gotta think that SpaceX is full of loads of smart people, and they've considered the problem thoroughly, but you never know what's going to happen. And as evidenced by Ship 36, unfortunately, and many other events in the Starship program. So it is possible that there is some damage after the static fire. I mean, the launch mount at Pad A was not meant for this. The ship was not meant to static fire in this configuration. But on the other side of the coin, the launch mount at Pad A is built as a launch mount to support a Super Heavy with far more engines and, deal with the impacts of launch itself. So I think even if there is some resulting damage, it'll be, nothing to write home about. It'll just be a small little tiny little speed bump or pothole kind of thing. But interesting to consider the possibility, and its potential impact, though minor, to the flow here, because again, it's just absolutely bonkers what they're doing. They're not being reckless or anything, but it is remarkable that they have improvised this fix, and it's going to feel in a lot of ways like the old days of Starbase, and in a lot of ways, Starbase remains the Wild West of rockets, and this is yet another piece of evidence of that.
Just imagine them doing this on one of the pads at KSC. That would be unheard
Never.
of.
Yeah, never. Like, and that's the thing, is like KSC is hallowed ground, right? So that's like the luxury they have here in Starbase to an extent, is to mess around and try things and go fast and break things, because when it does come time for Starship in Florida, it's like, playtime's over, R&D time is over. It's time to get serious and get to business, because it's a hallowed ground. I mean, that's where we went to the moon from, for Christ's sake.
That's true. I'm interested to see what chat thinks about that, by the way, as we go through. Go ahead, Ryan.
The one thing with that is the one thing you bring up is, well, on Pad A it was built to deal with 33 engines. Therein lies actually part of the problem. When you're running 33 engines, you're going to actually be able to consolidate your exhaust a bit more, and it'll actually hit the plate as it's designed to. The plate that barely works as intended at the moment. With Ship, however, there's only 6. And you've got RVACs. So your plume is actually going to be a little bit more expanded than, say, a booster, which means the plume could get into places that SpaceX might not want it to, like to damage some lines here and there, or cause some erosion in other places they may not want it to. Because the water deluge probably won't do a lot to a ship's static fire. It'll kind of throw a lot of water around, but it's not going to look anything like a booster static fire at all. It won't push the water down like it does, because when a booster static fire is on Pad A and they run the water deluge, there actually isn't any steam, or there is steam, but what happens is the booster engine exhaust literally hits that water, instantly turning it all into steam. So you get like a small, thin steam layer between the exhaust and the plate, and it keeps eroding the plate as it hits it. And like they're down to like 2 or 3 launches left on that plate, and well, they only got like 2 launches left out of that pad anyways. But Ship won't do that, so I'm actually kind of curious to see what the water deluge firing off does compared to a ship static fire. It'll look weird, because it won't look nearly the same as a booster static fire.
Absolutely. And there's questions along those lines, like, will they use the shower, the deluge type system, and can it damage the engines?
It won't. It's not designed to go that high. It's designed to go up and like out. It's designed to push out away from the plate, which has kind of caused issues a little bit with how fast it's eroding the plate away, because it's not protected as well and other things. But it won't go up high enough to damage the engines or anything like that.
Yeah. Also, we'll see how much thrust that puts out. I don't think that's as much of a damage risk of a couple seconds of 6 engines, including 3 Raptor vacuums. Let me take a moment, because the gift train has been continuing tonight, and it's unbelievable. Thank you, everyone, at this ungodly hour, at least here in the United States. Nibbles gifting a Red Team membership. Mike Alpha Tango Sierra gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much. And of course, the Space Pope coming through with 5 gifted Red Team memberships and a $20 super chat saying, bless this rollout. Bless this rollout indeed. Thank you. Let's see here. While we're talking about static fires and things like that, and the Star Stool, there's a good question here from Space Marshal, who's saying, "Do you think Ship 38 will be static fired at Pad 1 or at Massey's? Do you think they'll have Massey's ready in time for when they want to continue with Ship 38's campaign?"
No. Everything I'm seeing with Massey's is they're currently digging a propellant line trench. They're also upgrading all of they're redoing the entire methane tank farm basically, and they're also redoing part of the LOX tank farm as well. And of course, when Jack was out there catching Booster 13's aft getting lifted up when we did a Raptor site, it was on Thursday. We saw that they had new pipes for the water deluge bucket, which means that is getting some extensive repairs. I would be surprised if Massey's is up and running by the end of the year. There's a lot of work to do, and not only that, at this rate, they're converting it for Block 3. If 38 static fires, it'll have to be with the contraption that they've... MacGyvered contraption they've made for Pad A or Pad 1, if you want, whatever you want to call it. Massey's won't be ready, not by the time they want to fly Flight 11.
And what about V3 themselves? There's a question here from Metalman saying, is there a V3 ship in the Mega Bay already, or are they still on hold in the Starship factory? Have we seen any updates on version 3?
Well, I don't know if you call it on hold. They're not in Mega Bay 2 yet, but there are, I think it's 6. Let's see here. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. There are 7 nose cones that can be spotted in the nose cone hall. 3 of them are pinned. 39, which is supposed to be the next ship in the line after this one, which is the first Block 3, has its forward flat fairings. It is not stacked on its payload bay yet. We don't know when that's going to happen, but the fact that they have that many nose cones in current flow also likely means that they have a lot of those barrel sections also in flow. I think the thing that's holding them up right now is before they tile and move forward, I think they badly want a successful reentry with 37. They're going to hope and pray for one. And then once that happens, they'll make any design changes they need to make to it, and then start stacking them. And also, they're still in the process of building a 4th work stand inside Mega Bay 2 in the front right corner. So construction's kind of in the way, and vehicles have been in the way, and other stuff's been happening. But it's not on hold. They are consistently building ships. They just aren't stacking them at the moment.
So there is at least progress being made in that side of things.
Yeah.
Let's see. I see a bunch of questions about this. Do you think that while they still have the Star Stool stuff out there, rather than having to take it apart and reattach it and take it apart and reattach it, that they would static fire 37 and 38 before Flight 10?
Yeah, it depends on if SpaceX wants to delay Flight 10 to like September, and because that also depends on how quickly they can, out of cryo, how quickly can they get 38's engines on and get it ready for a static fire. It's a decision they have to make. They'll see how quickly they can cryo it. I wouldn't be surprised if they do cryos on this thing on 38 tomorrow night, or sometime at the end of tomorrow, or even the day after. They'll bang out. It's usually 3 cryos. They fill both tanks all the way up. They'll do a header tank cryo as well, which we'll actually be able to see the header tank cryo because they haven't tiled the nose cone cap. So we'll actually be able to see when the LOX tank gets filled. Looking kind of cool, like we did with 27. But they'll do those 3 cryos, roll it back as quick as possible, and try to get it fitted. So it's a maybe, it's maybe not. We'll see.
I mean, the thing is, the way that SpaceX is, they are always go, go, go. I feel like with how, I don't want to say behind, but the setback from Ship 36, I feel like they want to probably launch as soon as possible, and at the same time also get rid of version 2 as soon as possible. So it may be that, again, like we're talking about, Ship 38 ends up the way of Ship 26, being used for cryo testing, and that's about it, and then it thankfully gets destroyed. Well, not 38, thankfully, but
Yeah.
26, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, I could see them just saying, we've seen that they're planning for as soon as possible. It seems like it's going to be an August launch. They want that August launch. So to do that, I think they're going to have to get Ship 37 out there, which, again, there is the road closure for it. Have that done ASAP. And then as soon as it's off, immediately start demolishing the Star Stool.
They're gonna demolish it. They'll probably just take it off. They'll save everything for 38, is what I would guess they do.
Well, undo the pad infrastructure that they've just spent a month setting up.
Reconvert it back to launching a full stack rather than trying to static fire a ship is basically what they're trying to do. I kind of expect them to just shunt 37. As much as I would want them to do both at the same time, 37 they'll likely want to do flight 10 as quick as possible. Because they of course they want to get rid of the block 2s. They just want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of Pad A. Pad A is a sore thumb. It's not useful for the future of the program. And it's going to take a significant amount of time to demolish that pad. It's not something that just happens easily, because there is a slight chance. The more I look at it, there's a slight chance that tower has to go down as well, along with the pad itself, which would take a while. We'll just say that. So the quicker they get the 2 flights out, the quicker they can get flight data for Block 3, the better. So,
yeah, they really want to get converting on Pad 1, but at the same time, you still have Pad 2, Pad B out there that isn't done yet either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of that catch-22, isn't it? Well, a catch ship, but you know. Let's see here. Some more questions. Again, tag us at NASASpaceflight if you have any questions. Here's one. Speaking of OLM-1, can they install the engines of the ship out at the OLM to kind of speed things up? I know we see them do the dance floor out there if they need to replace for the booster. I don't think they'd be able to do that with a ship, would they, Jack?
Oh man, that takes me back. Remember the old Raptor installation stand? Remember that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah.
That takes me back. I'm not going to say they couldn't do it, but would they? I doubt it.
Yeah, it seems like they've got their system down at this point. Might as well, roll it out, cryo, roll back, engines on, and then go from there. Also, do we know if they will be using the chopsticks to lift 37 onto the mount?
There's no reason why they can't. It's just a different control software they have to put in, or just a different control for it, because you're not going to take the ship all the way up, and you're not taking a booster, so you have to adjust the settings to bring a smaller vehicle up and set it down on the mount. And you don't want and you have to the part of that too is you also have to disable the stabs they have on the mount. You don't want those extending, because if those extend, they'll extend and hit the aft flaps and damage them. So there's a lot of little things they'll have to disable and change, like they have to do with the OLM itself and the tank farm. But there's no reason why they won't use the sticks for it.
Got the pins.
Well, use the sockets, because that's what they use on for Pad A, and luckily it looks like the sockets are going away for Block 3 from what it's looking like. So,
Socket to me. I'm sure people are way too young to get the references there. Anyway.
I was muted, but I groaned.
Good, I'm glad. The amount of jokes that I've been making tonight as we were waiting for them to actually remove the straps that were on the vehicle and get this thing actually going was quite ridiculous. And I got to make Jack very upset. It was great. Let's see here. UFO is asking, do you think SpaceX will test COPV pressure along with LN2 tanking tests rather than with actual propellant during static fires to begin with? What do you think,
Well,
Jack, in terms of... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ryan. You go first.
Oh, sorry. Well, they already do that. They already test when they cryo it, they test everything. They test all the tanks and all the valves and the flight computer. They test all the stuff. The COPV that blew up was an accident. Whoops. It's one of those things is you've tested it. You may have tested it. It lasted a few cycles and then it failed. There's not really anything you can do about it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, where are we at, Jack, from what you've seen looking in and all the windows and things like that? Where are they at in terms of COPV work? Have they been doing extra work on it? Have they just been going as is with loading them onto the cones for all the upcoming ships, or what?
I mean, to be fair, I've only ever seen them do that once. So I couldn't tell you basically every time you drive past the Star Factory and you can see in the windows, you look in the windows, and every now and then you get treated to something new and different. And I've seen the COPVs on that install rig exactly once. That was before the anomaly.
You heard it here, folks. Jack is driving by and peeking in the windows. Are they moving right now, or is it kind of stopped at the moment, Jack? I'm trying to see.
No, it's moving. It's just on a long straightaway between Sanchez Lot and the Richardson Avenue, which is where I am.
Yeah, about how far away is it then from its destination? Jack?
Trying to remember. I was going to say, is Jack can answer that?
Sorry, there's people around. What was that?
I was just saying about how much further does it have distance-wise to go from where it is to Massey's?
Oh, to Massey's? A couple miles. It's got a ways. I mean, it's basically still just left the production site. There's this big long straightaway here. Then it'll do a series of chicanes as it passes Richardson Avenue, which is where our river camera is and where the Rocket Ranch outpost is. Shout out to Rocket Ranch. If you're looking for somewhere to watch Flight 10, hit them up. But yeah, it's still got a ways to go, Sawyer.
Did you say chicanes?
Chicanes, yeah. There's a series of chicanes. There's the Highway 4 out to Starbase is a series of long straightaways and a series of chicanes.
Why have I not heard the word chicane before until now?
I haven't heard that either.
Did I make up a word?
You might have made up a word.
A chicane?
Late night streams, everyone. Let's go.
What is chat saying? Chat's agreeing with me, right?
I'm looking.
Saying real word.
It's a racing term?
Racing term.
Okay. Chicanery?
Well, chicanery is a whole different thing.
I guess chat agrees with Jack, so I guess me and Sawyer uncultured or something?
We're just unk. A chicane is
apparently neither of you watch Top Gear ever.
It is a design feature on roadways or racetracks that involves a series of tight alternating turns, often with a slight straightaway in between, used to slow down traffic or vehicles.
Huh. What do you know?
Also to employ trickery or chicanery, which was more the definition I was thinking of. Anyway, yeah, it's a corner. Thank you, chat. Now I feel dumb. Anyway, back to questions to distract me now.
I love when everyone thinks I'm dumb and then I get to pull out a big vocabulary word.
Yeah, they used to say, oh, that's like the 50-cent word or the $5 words. Yeah. I understand acronyms better than I do that. But anyway, Michael was asking, Ryan, why is Ship 38 going to Massey's when Massey's is still being rebuilt?
Because they can cryo it at Massey's. And, well, they kind of have to cryo it there because they need Pad A to static fire 37, and they also can't do the ship thrust sim on Pad A. So they have to do the ship thrust sim over at Massey's, and that's what 38's on right now. So they're using generators to run a lot of stuff at Massey's right now. From the last I looked, rather than straight power, because they're still trying to fix things. And almost a month and a half later, 36 did a lot of damage to that site. I just FYI, it took a toll on it. And luckily it didn't have more methane in it than it had at the time. But yeah.
Also, someone saying, did you just use chat to verify vocabulary? Yes, we did. And then Google to verify the verification. So, doubly verified. Let's see. Cat in Wonderland is asking, and I'll throw this one to you, Jack, if you're available. Can they do a booster test with Ship 38 in the shape that it is, i.e. lack of heat shield, open steel, or would that give false results? Either talking while muted or busy. So, Ryan, you want to take that one?
They can do it. I don't know what you mean by open steel. If you mean that by because the heat shield isn't completed. I mean, they cryo tested all the old SN like SN5, SN4, SN5, SN6, SN8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, not 12. 15, 20 at times without its heat shield, and then multiple other vehicles. 26. They tested multiple times without it has no heat shield on it. Heat shield is not required for cryo test. The heat shield is only required for reentry, and that is all it is required for in this vehicle. Same way with the flaps. They can do all the ground testing in the world that they want to do without that stuff installed. The only thing they can't do is they can't actuate the flaps if they're not installed. So that's about the only thing they can't do with that. But everything that is required to load this vehicle with propellant and open the valves, vents, and control its pressures is all installed so that it can all be tested while they're loading it with liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen. So that's
It'd be pretty bad if they actuated a flap that wasn't installed.
I mean, all it would do is just move the hinge arm. That's all it would do.
You took it too literally. Anyway.
That was on purpose, Jack.
We're just here to mess with you tonight, Jack. That's totally what it is. Well, someone that isn't here to mess with us, but is here to help us is Bideford coming in with the super chat, saying, thoroughly enjoying the discussion tonight of SpaceX options for potential flights. Thank you, Jack and Caesar, for doing the ship chase for photos. And then Will E. Broad coming in with 10 gifted Red Team memberships. Thank you all for the support. So many gifted memberships tonight. If you got one of them, please make sure you say thank you to whoever gave them to you and enjoy the perks. Especially now as we finally get back into the swing of things here with more Starship ships rolling around and testing. With this cryo coming up, Space Marshal was wondering earlier, what gas do they use for these cryo tests?
When they do the cryos, they fill the liquid oxygen with the liquid oxygen tank with liquid oxygen, and they fill the methane tank with liquid nitrogen. Because if there's a leak somewhere while you're proofing the tank and making sure there's no leaks, well, you don't want to be loading methane. We've seen what happens when methane and liquid oxygen mix, and you don't really want that to happen on accident or anything. You want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So when they proof these vehicles, they do the same thing for booster. They use liquid nitrogen instead of methane. And then they fill all the COPVs, any of the methane COPVs that are on there for like engine startup and whatnot. They fill those with nitrogen. They press check the lines, leak check the lines, do all that kind of stuff. So basically, it's mainly just oxygen and nitrogen is all they're using because it's relatively inert.
Here's a really interesting question. Jack, since you're out there daily, I'll throw this one to you. Steve is wondering, by how much has the Ship 36 failure delayed the version 3 ship testing, since the new launch mount isn't even delayed up to this point?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. My knee-jerk reaction is to say not at all. But that's probably just not true. So I'm trying to I'm trying to consider what the actual answer is. It's tough. I mean, certainly there was going to be some downtime at Massey's no matter what, like one way or the other. I think that's a given, right? Just to get it ready for Block 3. So, and yeah, and the launch mount's not ready for the full vehicle yet either. So, oh man, I don't know, Sawyer. I mean, certainly there's been some sort of delay, but to quantify it's really hard.
I mean, my thought process is the fact that by now we would have had Flight 9 launched, or Flight 10 launched, excuse me, and assuming everything went well, Flight 11 would be right around the corner, and Ship 38 would be getting ready for flight testing as opposed to cryo testing. And at that
Yeah,
point, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of is they would have finished Block 2 sooner, but that's not going to speed up the process of getting Massey's ready, of getting Pad 2 ready, all of that. So,
right. Yeah, it's tough. It's a really interesting question. Certainly, there's been an impact to the program from the 36 explosion. How much that's delayed Block 3? I mean, I do immediately, of course, also think of Raptor 3. Like, where is Raptor 3? It
Right.
seems like its development is still ongoing, especially with the tests we've been seeing going on at McGregor. Shout out to our 24/7 McGregor live stream, where they're doing like these ignitions, a 20-second burn, and then they shut down, and then they do an ignition, 20-second burn, and they repeat that process. And I think, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, that's on the Raptor 3 stand, right?
Yeah, they've been running all sorts of tests with the Raptor 3s.
It just seems like they're really trying to nail down the ignition sequence for Raptor 3. So to me, regardless of anything else in the program, regardless of the explosion, regardless of what flight they should or could be on by now, I feel like the long pull here, to me anyways, I could be wrong, is Raptor 3.
I think is it has definitely put a little bit of delay in, but I really think, and I think it kind of goes to Block 2 as a whole, is the delay to the program, because I know they've learned things, but to me, they've lost 7 months worth of flight test time due to these issues. Like, as of right now, if things had worked out, we could be looking at 38 going to cryo testing, and when this ship launches, it's going to orbit and deploying Starlinks. If things had worked out differently, that's where we would be at. It's on maybe like the second or third operational Starlink mission for Starship, but that's not where we're at now. This ship represents the second to last hope for SpaceX to get any sort of good coast and reentry data out of a design of ships before they move on to something more advanced and a more operational design. Like that's where we're at now, and losing 36 pushed that back even farther. It pushed back data they could have gotten if they got reentry data. They could have made changes to the Block 3 heat shield. I think it's a couple of months that they lost, honestly, overall. I think it's at least 2 to 3 months of time, give or take, because it probably delayed them making changes or doing things to Block 3. So I would have put it at a couple of months.
yeah, it's safe to say that it's a non-zero number, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which Johan is wondering how long before Pad 2/B is ready for a booster static fire. I mean, we've been seeing the progress. It's been going pretty well, but how soon do you think till it can host, again, ignoring a launch, let's just say a static fire here?
Let's see here. Both booster QD carriages are installed. The methane end locks. They need to wire those in, hook the hoses up with those. They need to finish They need to bring in at least 3 more deluge tanks, or maybe at least 2 or 3 more have to come in. Those have to get piped in. They have to finish up some of the shielding inside the trench itself. They have to finish up all the shielding, the cladding on the side of the service structure. They have to finish the entire high-pressure side of the water deluge, as well as the vehicle side. The tank farm itself is actually pretty completed. There's a few odds and ends there to finish off, and commissioning of all the pumps and everything else. Because they can be missing the pumps on the ship side like they are right now. There's one LOX pump and one methane pump missing on the ship side. That can be missing for booster testing. They don't really need that right now. Not until they get a ship to put on a booster and get the chip QD arm on. And kind of get any kind of stabilizer stuff they have to do on the sticks installed. There's, I mean, October maybe is what we're looking at. I think for possible being ready for static fire testing on that pad. The question on that then becomes when the booster's ready for that, and I don't think the booster will be ready at least till end of December, January. I don't really know how long it's going to take them to finish Booster 18, because they still need an aft section, and they still need to build the entire methane tank, and then stack the thing, and then finish it and get it ready for cryo. So there's a big question mark on that one. But for the pad itself, I'd say like October.
And that's coming from Ryan, normally the pessimistic viewpoint, to see it before the end of the year.
The pad's going to be ready before the vehicles are. I'll just say that. V3, Block 3 vehicles are behind it. As Jack was just talking about with Raptor 3, I mean, they need 33 Raptor 3s to put on the bottom of a booster. And I think the largest serial number we've seen is like high 20s. I don't remember the exact one, but it's at least high 20s, maybe a 30. I don't remember, but those are probably still all dev engines. So I don't even know if they've got operational. I don't even know if they're in the process of doing operational like qualification testing on Raptor 3. So that puts a big question mark too. So
I will say, as we continue to watch Ship 38 roll its way out to Massey's for cryo testing, Chad is talking about luge and toboggans, and
yeah, I see that.
yeah, I appreciate the puns in there, saying that they prefer a night luge over a day luge. Those are pretty good. I'll give you guys that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 3:19 a.m. Central Time. It's one of those streams.
And
I'd like to report that I just sprayed 100% DEET on both of my ears, and mosquitoes are still trying to ingress. It's going great.
Oh, DEET is back in Florida. Oh, DEET, not D. Dead silence. I love it.
Wow.
There we go. I was expecting a wow. Which, by the way, M. Card is asking, Jack, have you fully recovered from the trauma of Ship 36 blowing up?
What trauma?
I mean, as we see ships rolling out again, this is the first time that we're seeing like major roll of actual flight vehicles since the kaboom.
Yeah, but like, what trauma? Like, I genuinely, it blew up. What's the big deal? Things blow up in Starbase. That's part of why we roll out and point cameras at rockets at ungodly hours anytime we can, because you never know what's going to happen. And if you've been around Starbase for long enough, then you've seen your fair share of anomalies and explosions. So, yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Don't get me wrong. It was wild, but trauma is far from the word that I would use.
It blew up.
It just
Ship
blew up.
36 blew up, you mean?
Yeah.
Don't steal my line, Sawyer. You had your own line. I got a great laugh on John Oliver, all right? I just had the dumb flippant answer.
It got a good laugh too, okay? Although, speaking of, I think that's the perfect time to address. Like, I guess that's gonna change the launch date. What do we think then for the launch of Flight 10 now? Ryan, I'll start with you, then Jack, then I'll throw in my opinions.
Ooh, with 37 supposed to go out tomorrow night, or I guess tonight. I guess at this rate, you know,
Same window.
it should be out at the pad within the next. And look at that, they're taking the scaffolding tower down. It's halfway down, so that's a good sign. That was all the way up to the top of the nose cone like a few days ago. So it should be out at the pad hopefully within the next 24 hours. Is what it's slated to be out there within 24 hours or so. Assuming they get it out there then, and then get it onto the pad, which they took the scaffolding off of the OLM, so that's a good sign that they're going to put it on there. Because that had to get out of the way because the flaps will be in the way if they didn't. To hook up the QD, hook up all the lines, do a tanking test, do the static fire or spin prime plus a static fire, a couple static fires, get it back, assuming the heat shield's done. I'm trying to run literally through everything in my head here. I still say at least 3 to 4 weeks. I think we're looking 3rd to 4th week of August.
Jack?
Mid-August.
Thank you for your super lengthy answer. I think I'm going to
Sorry, I'm doing camera stuff and also keeping an eye on the sheriff, which is going to ask me to move here at some point.
Bad boys. What you gonna do? Anyway, so I'm thinking probably end of August. I know the pessimist one here is me right now, but given what you were talking about, the fact that you got to roll it out, they got to test it, they got to modify Pad 1A out there again, and just maybe taking it a little bit slower, given what's been happening with Ship 36. I think it would be safe. I know we have the dates that they've discussed for like early to mid-August. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it 3rd or 4th week of August as opposed to mid-August.
Spoiler, it's not going August 4th. Just want to put that out there. What
do you mean?
It's not going in 10 days.
I do think mid-August is completely plausible, but yeah, 1st week of August, not on the table. But this is like, did you guys read the most recent Eric Berger book? I always get the names confused. Which one was that one? Was it Reuse? Either way, in the most recent Berger book, he talks about SpaceX's timelines and how they often use a quote-unquote green lights to Malibu style of planning. As in, if you're driving from somewhere in LA to Malibu, and you could, I think it was if you're driving from SpaceX headquarters to Malibu, you could get there in X amount of time, in theory, if you hit all green lights, but you never hit all green lights. So a lot of time, the thing we use in spaceflight circles to describe this is often Elon time. It's like whatever Elon says, add like some multiple to get the real number. But it's also like, I also do think, I just really like that expression. Like, yeah, they could totally hit mid-August, but that's green lights to Malibu. Assuming they static fire easily on this improvised setup. Like, who knows? They could get 37 on the mount and get it all hooked up and get propellant flowing into it and go, oh, wait a minute, something's wrong. And we don't see a static fire this week. I mean, we probably will. That probably won't happen, but anything's possible. So, you never know what kind of snags they'll hit. Maybe they do a static fire and they don't like the data they see. Maybe they do a static fire and an engine goes, oof, ouch, my turbo pump, and they have to replace the engine. Maybe, anything could happen. But green lights to Malibu, I'm going to say mid-August.
All right. Interesting. Green light to Malibu. You know what's going to happen, though, is it's going to happen, the static fire, at least the exact same date, and if not the exact same time as Crew 11 on the 31st. You know it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, we need to come up with a name for the law where if two two spaceflight activities can coincide on the same day, they will. There needs to be a name for that law. I'm not pompous enough to say it should be called Byers' Law, but it should be called
Good.
something.
It should be called Byers' Law now. I like that, actually.
I'll go with Byers' Law. Hey, I like it. It's coined. It's done. We got
Yeah,
it.
No.
it's similar
Byers'
enough to
Law
Burger's
is
Law.
if methane, it will ignite in the flare stack. That's Byers' Law.
Oh, that is true. That's true.
Oh my god. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Ryan? I just heard the
No, I was trying to think of a different name for it. The law. So I was just trying to think. I don't know.
And it will ignite in the COPV as well.
I mean, yeah, honestly, yes. I think if anything, recent events have shown that yes, they will, in fact, do that.
We could just call it Methane's Law. Although it wasn't necessarily the methane, was it?
I mean, it was the nitrogen COPV just
Right.
failed and blew up, and
Yeah,
when
no,
it blew up,
nothing to do with methane. I was just calling back to the old SN4 explosion.
You mean the one that's in the intro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Now that was sketchy, and I wasn't even here for that because that was in the dark days of the plague. So that was just Mary. But if you ever go back and watch that stream, we were all extremely concerned immediately for Mary's safety, and that's one of the very few times she's actually like chimed in vocally on stream. She was like, "I'm fine," and we were all like, "Woo!"
Yeah, that's an crud moment.
Yeah, because unlike Ship 36's explosion, which was more of a pop and then big fireball deflagration kind of thing, SN4 was a detonation. Like, that was not cool.
Very true.
I mean, it was cool, but it was like not cool. You know what I mean?
And that was barely loaded too. They like barely loaded the vehicles back in those days.
That's saying something. Yeah, and again, I know we've all talked about it for, if Ship 36 had happened on a launch day, what a disaster that would have been.
I mean, yeah, they would have taken the full stack with it, most likely.
By the way,
At that point, let's say at that point, Block 2 is not flying anymore.
No, I definitely think not. Let's see, other suggestions I'm seeing, Jack's Law, Ninja Guy Dan with a brilliant one, Buyer's Remorse, like Beyer, Buyer's Remorse.
Honestly, I'm not even mad about it. That's really good.
That is so clever. I wish I'd come up with that.
I especially like it because the spicy tequila cocktail that I make all the time is, I've started calling it Jack's Lament at Anthony's suggestion. So there'd be Jack's Lament and Jack's Remorse, or Buyer's Remorse. We're working on like a whole stable, like a whole theme.
Yes, the NSF lineup of Jack's Laws will be coming out shortly. And Telstar 86, how about coleslaw? Nah, I don't really like it on my hot dogs, but thank you. Get it? Coleslaw. Anyway, Abdurrahman, thank you as well for gifting a Red Team membership. You just gonna leave me and Telstar hanging like that, Jack? Come on.
Sorry, I gotta relocate again.
Excuses.
Not getting in trouble with the sheriff, not getting arrested. Darn.
And I'm just laughing off mic here.
It's Paradox saying, is it true NSF streams can be delayed up to 10 times? That's Buyer's Remorse right there. Is all of these launches never going at, and events never going at the top of the window and having to continually delay our streams. That's Buyer's Remorse. Here's a question from Andy, who's asking, is there a ship QD/port/connector on OLM A/1/west yet?
Here. It wouldn't be west, it'd be east, but that's besides the point at this point. There is not. There is a bunch of rigid piping and then they just installed a bunch of flex hoses over the last 24 hours or so. My guess is they'll probably lift the ship onto the mount, and then they'll go ahead and hook a QD to the ship. They'll have to find a way to get the QD to stay stable on the ship because there is no rigid structure for it. And not only that, the structure they have built is actually taller than where the QD is on the ship, so the flex lines have to kind of droop a little bit to hook into it. So it's going to be one of the most MacGyver things you ever see. My guess is the plate will go onto the ship, and they will then strap it to the ship using the aft flap attach like chain points, and then kind of chain it to the ship and hold it tight. And then they'll manually hook the hoses one at a time to the ship QD, and they'll load it that way. So I expect they'll go to do a tanking test, and it won't be tight enough, and it'll leak. They'll have to stop, reset it, and do it again. That's my guess anyways, is how they're going to do it. Something along those lines. It's going to be really janky. What they are doing at Pad A is one of the jankiest things they have ever done at Starbase. By far. It is one of the jankiest things they've ever done.
And that's saying something.
Really, I mean, I don't know. Cutting a hole in the roof of the high bay to get a crane on booster 1. There's a lot of janky moments. There's a lot of janky moments.
What they are trying to convert a pad that was designed to fill, launch, and hold down a completely different vehicle, and then modify it to do it for another. Because while ship and booster are 9 meters wide, that's the only, and they have Raptor engines, it's the only similarity. I mean, I guess other than, LOX and methane, it's the only similarity. The QD ports are different, the size of the lines are different, the way the clamp is different, the software is different, it's all different. So they have to mod all this to do that. It is jank times 1,000. It truly is. MacGyvered to whatever level you want to call it to.
This is the battle of the jankiness. I was going to say something different, but it could be misconstrued. So we'll continue on. El Hulto is asking, any thoughts on when the Flight 9 FAA investigation will close? I guess if not close, at least when they will allow SpaceX to go ahead with Flight 10. Ryan?
That is probably going to be after they get static fire data off 2037. Would be my guess, is they might be waiting on more data from SpaceX before they sign off on stuff. So yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see when that happens.
Because it's definitely worth noting that they've been able to launch with investigations open before. Flight 8 is closed, right? Or is Flight 8 still open too?
If I remember correctly, 7 is closed. They got a safety determination. No, I think Flight 8's... I actually have to look. It's been a minute since I looked. I think Flight 8 might be closed, and I think 9's still open. Or Flight 8 got the safety determination. Maybe. I gotta go look back. I actually don't remember that off the top of my head. But...
I'll be able to look it up. Here's another good naming suggestion from Johan. Producer's headache. It's like if I were to randomly say, hey, Kevin, wouldn't it be funny if we did a merch plug right now without warning? Well, what do you know? That's what we're doing now, because I said so. Anyway, we've got all the awesome merch going on at shop.nasaspaceflight.com. Kevin, what are we featuring in this beautiful hour of the morning here? We've got our re-enter, retest, refly gear. Again, all of this that we saw there from the last flight. Hopefully we'll get some Flight 10 stuff once we get closer to a 10th flight. The Shrug patch will be coming soon for those of you that pre-ordered. But check it out. We've got all of the awesome merch there, Starbase related. We've got the Re-Entry Club still, which I absolutely love that one. The Splashdown. I have a feeling we'll be seeing more Splashdown soon, hopefully. Of course, all of these Starship patches, of which there's still some left for a few random flights in there, so make sure you check that out. And then, of course, all the successes from Ship 35. I absolutely love this shirt. This is one of my favorites. The Ship 35 achievement unlocked didn't blow up.
Spoiler, I wore that shirt in the Starbase update for this week that's coming out on Monday.
Spoiler, you were going to wear it on the Flame Trench, except you were in front of a green screen and it has green on it.
Oh, no. Oh, Ryan's gonna be mad at me.
What did you do? Oh, did you do this one in front of a green screen?
Hey, look, merch, Sawyer. Also, we should note that if you are a member, you should definitely check out the announcements page in Discord, because there is an announcement pertaining to the store to members. I don't want to leak anything. Also, metal prints are great because the photographer that shot the print gets a cut of the sale. Also, hey, look, patches.
Yes, definitely check out the announcements. I was surprised to see that too in the Discord if you're in there. The public will find out what that is shortly, but members get an early sneak peek of that. That's at shop.nasaspaceflight.com. So about that green shirt, Jack.
Hey, so where's 37 or 38 at, Sawyer? Yeah. How about that?
You tell me, Mr. Chroma Key.
Okay, that was good. That was pretty good.
Poor Ryan Caton. Anyway, where is it though in relation to Massey's? Actually, legit.
So remember how we talked about the chicanes?
He is.
It has passed Richardson Avenue, which is, again, where our river lot and danger van is, and also near where the Rocket Ranch outpost is. So it's past there. It is now heading up another long straightaway, and shortly it will pass a historical marker and then take a right-hand sort of dogleg and then begin the first set of chicanes that take it past the Ad Astra School and closer on up to Massey. So this is completely on vibes alone, but I think it's about halfway, or coming up on halfway. We're getting there. We're making progress. Interesting that the road closure goes till 4 a.m. and it's 3:38, and it's definitely not 20 minutes away.
Oh my god, it's still not 20 minutes away.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. If I was going to guess, and this is, again, total guess, I'm going to say we got about 40 minutes left to go.
Chad, help, I'm dying. 40 more minutes.
Just
luckily
like
it
do a
made
tribalism for fun, and I'll start yelling about something for like 10 minutes, and then you can go like get a drink and a snack.
Endeavor best shuttle?
Okay, see, here's the thing. Atlantis is the best. I'm trying to help you out. Don't
No,
laugh at me.
I'm already cracking up on my drink. Don't worry.
We do have a Shuttle Sunday coming up. I have to mention it again because I love Shuttle Sunday. Shuttle Sunday, it is Sunday, it's 3 a.m., but it's still Sunday. But yeah, Atlantis is the best shuttle. We all know and agree that Atlantis is the best shuttle. We all know and agree that
Legit
Enterprise isn't even an orbiter, but it like can hang out because, you know, we're not going to be mean to it. But we all know it's not a real orbiter. Oh God, Alicia's going to be so mad at me.
Jack nearly just
yeah.
told me.
Jack's going
choked
scorched earth over here. Dang.
I choked on my drink from that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want me to keep going? I can. Sawyer, I've had so much Red Bull. I mean, Sawyer, I've had so much generic energy drink. But yeah, Atlantis. What?
Generic energy drink?
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to use proprietary eponyms here.
It's Red Bull, we know.
Yeah, fair.
Hashtag not sponsored, we know that. Oh God, speaking of sponsored, now I'm going to have to deal with the stupid green lettering. Thank you.
You know, I would wear a kilt for Red Bull. I would do that.
Wow. You
Why
heard
did I
it
say
here,
that on
folks.
air?
Clip it.
Why did I say that on
Clip
air?
it.
I regret my life choices.
Anything that happens in the member Discord can't be clipped. Anything that's public sure can.
Yep.
So people won't know the hilarious joke that Kevin was making earlier that Jack
Oh
absolutely
my
hated.
god, don't even.
I can't say it on air because we
Sawyer.
like to keep things family friendly. But
So
everything that
Atlantis
happens
is the
in the
best
member,
shuttle, am I right?
everything that happens in members Discord, there is some PG-13 jokes. Yeah, Endeavor, exactly. You're right. Also, Warsome Dad, Dogleg versus Chicane. Oh god.
To me, a dog leg is just one turn. A chicane is a series of turns. But I am not an expert. I'm just a guy with a beard who points camera and pushes button.
See, I think that I like the dogleg because chicane is kind of zigzag, but the extent to which you can make a dogleg, how sharp it is. I mean, you've seen JAXA.
It's true. Real.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why chicanes, they have a limit to how tight you can make the turns. Doglegs, there is no limit.
I think it should have already passed their Highway 4 storage site, so at least that's passed. I think.
No, I think it's passing Rio West right now. Like, it hasn't gotten into the shrubbery yet. Once it's in the shrubbery, it'll be passing that little storage area and that little canal that
Is it?
gives you a good view of Massey's during static fires and whatnot.
Hmm.
I like how Sawyer went from not knowing what a chicane was to being a chicane expert in like 20 minutes flat.
You know, what can I say? I'm a man of class, apparently. Anyway, the pun. I'm trying. There's a pun there that I'm not getting right now.
That's why I was silent. My brain was moving at a snail's pace trying to get a neuron to fire and come up with something funny there, but here we are. See, now it's getting into the shrubbery. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not 40 minutes left. Maybe, well, they've got 17 minutes left in the window. Chat, do you think they can make it? It is kind of haul in the mail.
Yeah, it is. It's on that. What, like third to last, the second to last big straightaway, and that third to last straightaway as a whole. Because they got one turn, and then they'll go past Ad Astra, and they got one little more turn, and then they get to Massey's. So,
Yeah, exactly.
which is if I think where they are here, they
Is this slower than
have
usual, by the way.
they have 1.2 miles left. If I think they exactly where they are, or whatever.
Nice. Out of what? What's the total? Like 4 something?
Total is, let me look here. Sec.
What were you saying, Sawyer, about the school?
I didn't say anything about school. I said, is this going slower than usual?
Oh, I heard usual and I heard school. No, I think it's going faster than usual. But, I mean, eyewitness testimony is notoriously fallible. Somebody look at the start time when it actually hit Highway 4 and look at previous rolls, and that's the only way that you're going to get a real answer. But to me, it feels like it's going faster. I'm also loaded up on Red Bull, and it's the middle of the night, so your mileage may vary. But if we were really smart, we could extrapolate how long it's taken to get this far, and how many miles it is, and see if they have a chance of getting all the way in 15 minutes. I don't think they're going to hit it by 4. I don't think they're going to get to Massey Way by 4, but I think it'll be close.
You get to, let's see here, it's 4.7 miles on Route 4 total. So, because then it's another mile down Massey's way to get to Massey's.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to factor into the closure. Sorry, how far
No.
on Highway 4 did you say it was?
4.7.
4.7, and they have 1.2 left? That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
The consensus in chat seems to be no, they're not going to make it in time, but some are also asking for a poll. But From just reading through chat, the majority seems to be it's going to be close, but not.
Well, they're in the chicane now, so that's good.
Yes, the chicanery as it goes through the chicane.
The next turn we make it see, as soon as it makes that turn, they'll be 5,200 feet away. So,
Oddly specific.
I'm doing the measuring the distance here.
How many leagues is that?
I don't know.
Furlongs.
How many hogsheads?
How many chicanes?
How many is that in chicanes? You know how league is a unit of measurement for like distance and not depth, and it's like, oh yeah, 20,000 leagues under the sea. It's like they went a distance of 20,000 leagues while submerged. Not that they went 20,000 leagues deep. That's not how leagues work. But if they did, if you actually did like do the math on if you were in a submarine and went 20,000 leagues straight down, you would go through the Earth out the other side in like 50,000 miles into space.
Education with Jack tonight. I love it.
Fun facts with Jack.
How many furlongs per fortnight? Yes, how many NFL
Yes.
fields? There we go. That's the proper measurement. Oh, jeez. We need a command now for chicane. We're going to have to bring this the next flame trench, Jack. You and I, we're going to have to cause chicanery with chicanes.
I mean, I think we caused chicanery every flame trench, but yeah, maybe we need like a segment on the flame trench dedicated to it, where it's like the chicane featuring the flame trench featuring the chicane. It's like it sounds like a cool band name or something.
Actually, wait. Does EJ have any chicanes in your City Skylines build that he's working on?
Oh my god, EJ should build some chicanes into my city for me.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Now we're talking.
Traffic management via roundabouts is so yesterday. Traffic management via chicanes? Now that's 2025, baby.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, we got to ask EJ to add chicanes. And
if you want to know, Jack, that is 0.3282 repeating leagues. 5,200.
I did want to know. Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, for 20,000 leagues is 60,000 miles.
Yeah, so boring through the Earth and into space. There you go.
Or 96.64 kilometers. But
yeah, when I learned that, I don't know, it broke something in my brain in the best way. I was like, wait, so you're telling me it would be in space? That's amazing.
On the other side of the planet?
Like I learned it and I did the math to verify what I read was not just completely made up. That's how I was excited.
Oh my god, I just figured something out here. We were trying to think of the name of the law of when things, if you were to get all green lights, right? Kind of deal. But since you don't, you get the curves in the road, it's chicane's law.
The chicanery law. The law of chicanery?
Yes, that things, when they say that they will launch, will actually probably be like 2 weeks later.
I
thought the law was if two spaceflight events can coincide on the same day, they will. Which is definitely chicanery. Oh god, I just spilled Topo Chico everywhere. Gotta go.
I will say this. Every time one of these late night streams happen or the early morning ones happen, and I think it just made the turn, which means it's got 0.3282 leagues left to go, by the way, until it's Massey's way. I had to do it.
We should always measure rollouts in leagues now.
Totally.
Ryan, how many leagues is it from the production site to the... I can't even say it with a straight face. How many leagues is it from the production site to the launch site?
What is it? Give me a minute.
What were you going to even say?
Where is this? Leagues? That's not enough. God dang it. Now I lost my train of thought because Jack interrupted me. Dang it.
Your thought is on a chicane right now. It's fine.
Right.
Let me take a moment here. Thank some people. Anonymous getting a patch from the shop saying, good job, the team. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. And that was a Flight 9 patch. And then Sausage. Oh, I want sausage now. I'm hungry. Coming in saying, do you think they static fire both ships before reverting the OLM to stack config, or take off the ring wall and launch Ship 37 and the booster first? I know we were kind of speculating on that a bit earlier, but what do you think, Ryan?
One sec. By the way, it
Everyone's
is.
muting on me.
I'm not muting. I was doing what Jack asked. It is 1.56667 leagues from the entrance of Highway 4, the production site, to Massey's Way. So there.
Thanks. That's really important. Definitely way more important than answering viewer questions.
Anywho.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome, Jack. As for the question, will they static fire both ships? We were talking about that earlier. It's possible that they might do that. It's entirely dependent on if SpaceX wants to wait to launch Flight 10 and then try to get 38 static fired, then launch Flight 11. But of course, you get into the problem of then, well, if 38 needs modifications because of maybe stuff that happens to 37, then you have to static fire it again, and then all that becomes a problem. The unfortunate thing is if they don't do it, is they have to do like a 2-week reconversion back to full stack, and then they have to convert the pad back again for 38, and then back again for another full stack launch. So the bright side about doing the conversion back to a full stack launch again from doing 38 is they don't really have to care about covering the holes they cut in the booster QD hood, because, well, Flight 10's the last time you're flying from that. So you can fry that entire pad if you really wanted to. It doesn't really matter anymore because the pad's getting scrapped at that point. So I guess there is that kind of addition to it.
If it looks like the ship is moving backwards right now, do not fret. It is just the chicanery of the chicane.
Oh my goodness!
I swear, I wasn't even trying to use the word again, but it just happened. I promise. I feel like we're really driving it into the ground at this point, but it really is. It's the chicanery of the.
No, we're not
chicane.
driving into the ground because we have to go around the chicanes first before we can drive in.
The chicanery of the chicanes of the chicanery of this chicanery stream. Anywho, Jack, is it close to you?
Nope, it's in the chicane, dude. It's got to go through the chicane before it gets to the straightaway.
I thought it was on. I think it's almost at the last straightaway. At least I thought it was close. It should. I have a feeling it should be rounding the corner to you any minute here.
I see it not. As soon as I see it, I will give you a feed, but I see it not.
Yeah, because we have the poll going. Will Ship 38 make it before the end of the window, which is in 6 minutes from now? 59% still think it will. 41%.
No way. I would have to see it by now for it to be even remotely plausible.
And for those just joining, John saying, is that Ship 38 going to Cryo? I just woke up. First off, good morning. Welcome to the Looney Bin here. And yes, that is Ship 38 on its way to be cryo tested out at Massey's, in the part of Massey's that isn't completely destroyed. To do that, Ship 37 will be next up. There's a road closure for that. Basically 24 hours exactly from this one. So 12 to 4 a.m. Central on the 28th. And hopefully that one will actually go out to the launch pad, eventually placed on the Star Stool, and testing commencing of the MacGyvering that they did to allow the testing to happen.
This is the chicanery and league rollout stream. That's what we're in.
Yes, Kevin, we need to change the title totally then. And there is...
Well, I gotta say, now that we have a ship rolling out, I feel leagues better.
Ooh, that was good.
Nice. There you
Can
go.
you tell it's super late for all of us here? About to be 5 a.m. for me on the East Coast, about to be 4 a.m. for Jack out at Starbase in Central Time Zone. So, yeah.
Hey, Jack, what's the name of that restaurant again? You know the ones with the things on the wall?
Chicanery. It's chicanery, isn't it? It's chicanery.
Ooh! I had to do
What?
that.
There's
What?
a look at Ship 37, by the way, where you can see the scaffolding starting to come down ahead of its roll, as we were just discussing. Go ahead.
But you didn't get that one?
No.
Super
What?
Troopers.
Yes, Super Troopers.
I'm
Shenanigans?
sorry,
Shenanigans?
I swear I will pistol whip the next person that says shenanigans. Hey, farmer, what's that place you like with all the crap on the walls? Shenanigans, shenanigans, shenanigans. All right, anyways. I feel like we
5
should have
a.m.
thought about this a little bit more beforehand. We could have done like a morning show vibe. Like we could have given Sawyer a soundboard. He could have had like a toilet flushing sound for when I make a bad joke. Like maybe
Chris
it's for the
Bergen doesn't
best.
even have one. Do you think they'd give one to me?
I was about to say, you wouldn't give one to Chris B, so... Chris B
He's
doesn't have
getting
it
one
yet.
though, isn't he? I thought he's getting
He
one.
should be. He should be getting one, but I don't think he has it yet.
Kevin. Oh, boy. Let's see. By the way, they were asking in terms of distance. Is that distance as the crow flies or by road?
By road. It is by
It's
road.
as the league dives.
There, that works too. As the if you want it from as the crow flies, let's see here. It is 1.443333 leagues as the crow flies.
What have we devolved into?
That sentence, that is certainly quite a sentence that you said there.
I couldn't do it in miles, not after what we've been doing this whole time, so you know.
As the cryo flies.
No, as the COPV flies.
There you go. As the payload bay door.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not again. Did Kevin just really do that?
What did he do? I missed
The
it now.
toilet flush.
Oh.
It's a morning show vibe, which Kevin was mentioning
That was
earlier.
amazing.
He used to be a DJ at one point. He was discussing that earlier, so...
I didn't know until this stream that I could just will things into happening by saying them live on air, so good to know.
Well, the gold bars didn't happen, but other than that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
But hey, Sawyer, there's a non-zero chance I can make things explode with my mind.
You've done it a couple times already.
Allegedly, okay? Allegedly.
Bowl, Ship 36. There's been a couple others, right?
Alpha,
Alpha, yep.
Minotaur.
By the way, here's the thing from Utopia Labs that we need to do for Membies. I said I want to see a video with someone driving on the chicanery.
Well, we've done that. Like we've done that in the Starbase summary videos. Maybe in the next one or in an upcoming one, I will throw a GoPro on the car and do another one. Now that people have been cued in to the chicanery that exists here in Starbase.
As long as we specifically address the chicanes. Now, that's all I care about now, is I want the chicanes.
It's my chicanes, and I want it now!
Oh, boy. We're losing it. Thankfully, they haven't lost Ship 38 yet as it continues to roll. Let's see. Oh, gosh. How long would it take for a Swallow to fly this far? European Swallow, or...?
Oh, man.
Laden or unladen?
Yeah. Here's one from Paradox. That's a legit question. I feel like we should probably do at least some of those before we go back to chicanes. They're asking, do you believe that Ship 37 will have a successful static fire, or do you think we'll have another static fire similar to Ship 35? I'll go with the pessimism first. Ryan?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I guess that's the biggest question is I mean, the thing is, I hope it works. I hope it just works and goes, and I just want Block 2 gone, and I want the pad gone, so I just hope the quickest way for that to happen is for it to fly and get out of there. It really depends. I don't think it would be an engine problem like 35 had. I think it'd be more problem with propellant loading and other things like that because of the chicanery that they have done with Pad A. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've worked on it pretty well. I wouldn't be surprised if when they go to static fire for the first time, there's some connection issues or something doesn't load properly. But in terms of the actual static fire portion itself, I really don't see that being much of an issue. And, wow, a lot of people were still hopeful that it would make it there on time. Mafia TV, by the way, using their 20-month Red Team membership to ask, what's the longest static fire they can do? Also, are they sure that it will remain held down?
They can. It'll stay held down. The clamp system on the stand is the same that they use for the static fire stand. It's the same clamp that they use for stage separation and everything. And in fact, they actually use 6 clamps for the transport stand, and when they attach it to booster, they only use 3. So it'll be fine. It'll stay down. The longest static fire that they can do at that pad, that's actually an interesting question because they don't really have enough water to do 60 seconds. They don't, not with the pressure and what they do with that pad. I would guess that they would do probably a 20 or 30 second one max if they wanted to do any kind of long duration. Otherwise, if SpaceX actually wants to even play it even the tad bit safe, they just do a 10-second static fire and be done with it. But it is SpaceX, so, yeah.
That's perfectly put. It is SpaceX. But, yeah, it's... do you think they could at least do a 30-second one, then?
I think they could do a 30-second. They could probably stretch out that deluge plate to do it. The real kicker is the deluge plate, as I had talked about earlier, I don't know how much it's really going to do for 6 engines. Because the way the plume on the ship is a little bit different than having 33 engines fire on booster. It's not really going to compress the water like the booster does. It's going to look weird. That's all I'm going to say. Just be prepared for how weird it looks. You're going to see a lot of water just going everywhere. That's not going to be turned into steam. It'd be my expectation. So I'm just curious to see how it's going to end up looking.
Of course it's going to look weird. It's SpaceX, and we've seen what the Star Stool looks like already, how they've had to finagle that as is. Let's see here. Sir Ward is asking, how would a ship detank after a catch? What do you think? I mean, we're still a little ways away, it seems like, from a ship catch, given all of the Block 2 issues, but thoughts on that?
I think they just cracked the valves, let everything boil off, at least for initial catches. Hey, look, it's my feed! Yay! I can see the ship, and it is heading toward Massey Way. They're gonna be late by like 10, 15 minutes tops. That's pretty darn good.
That's not bad.
Not
although,
too bad.
again, the people that voted yes in the poll are now wrong, but regardless, yes. This is a great shot, by the way, Jack, of it coming right at you. Jack and Caesar been doing great work tonight with the views, in addition to our SBU teams that provide other cameras out there. Need Pizza also helping out big time. Kevin Michael
Pizza
Green.
always helping out big time. Thank you, Pizza.
Yes. And not just the food, we're talking about the person that helps out. Josh also been helping out tonight. Thank you, Josh, JP, for
Kevin's
doing
okay too, I guess.
Yeah, he's something. He's there. He flushes toilets.
Wait, no,
on
he's
air.
great. He did the toilet flush sound. He's great. Kevin's awesome. Kevin rules.
2 things we can clip now from the stream. Why is it so long?
Yeah, it's the worst part about it, but it's also kind of amazing. Like, I deliberately didn't even talk during that because for comedic effect, the length was just perfect.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna be too wired after this to sleep, even though I'm dead exhausted.
Man, this is
Yeah, I did that thing where I like napped midday in anticipation of this. Uh, what is a sleep schedule? What is that? Somebody please help. Send help.
Yeah, no idea what that is either. Same way, took a
oh
hour and
man.
a half nap and it didn't do anything. Um, here's one from Nick, which we actually, in theory, know the answer to. When do you think Ship 37 will roll to the pad? Ryan, we have closures.
It should be within the next 20 hours. Hopefully, it rolls in the next 20 to 24 hours because the closure is 11:59 p.m. starting tonight till 4 a.m. on the 28th is the road closure for Ship 37 movement, which we expected to be the launch site. So yeah.
Right. Technically tomorrow, starting at noon not noon, 12 a.m. Central Time on the 28th, going till 4 a.m. Central Time on the 28th. So the exact same window as this, just for tomorrow. And you can also keep track of all of that on the Next Spaceflight app and the Next Spaceflight website. So you can see all of the road closures listed there. You can even on the app set up notifications so that whenever SpaceX updates their road closures, you will get a push alert for it. And of course, you can see what still needs to be done for all the upcoming flights. And you see there Ship 37 with that static fire, and then Ship 38 with the cryo proof testing, which is where you see it rolling to on your screen right now. Thank you for that, Kevin.
Also, the 3D trajectory tool, if you're at anywhere that is launching rockets, the 3D trajectory tool thing they added recently is really great in Next Spaceflight. I cannot shout that feature out enough.
Yes, if you're ever coming down to the Cape or going anywhere for a launch, it's awesome, and the data for that 3D visual is powered by Flight Club. Let's see here. Here's an interesting question. I'll throw this one to you, Ryan, because it involves you. They're saying that Ryan said that Ship 36 explosion was an accident. So what will they do to prevent it from happening again once they have crew? Can they do anything with that?
The unfortunate thing about that is, as far as I know, I don't think there's any way for them to really know exactly what happened to that COPV, why it failed the way it did. There probably was an internal like DLAM or failure inside the carbon fiber itself. For something along those lines, it's really, really hard to detect. The biggest thing for that is better quality. If it was something along those lines, which we don't really have any confirmation one way or the other that's exactly what happened or how it happened or whatever. We just know a COPV blew up. Would be you'd kind of have to have better QA on when you're building them, basically, or better handling when you're handling them around. Because we don't really know what happened. We don't know why it blew up, but one way or the other, a COPV blew up. And you need to figure out a way to make sure that that doesn't happen again, however, whatever that entails for crude or anything in the future. But this is still just a test program. And yeah, it is unfortunate that they lost it to something like that. That's simple. It kind of stinks.
I mean, that's with everything in spaceflight. It's not like it's just a Starship thing. Every vehicle is going to have its issues, have its quirks, have its things that go wrong. I mean, the best that you can do is prepare as well as you can for it. Crew Dragon has the Super Dracos, escape systems like that. Orion has the launch escape system attachment on it. So, you do what you can. Obviously, we don't know if there is any crew escape system that will be in place for once Starship carries crew, but I'm sure we'll learn more as they continue to develop the program. Right now, the main thing is getting it into a proper suborbital trajectory and have it re-enter on the heat shield side facing the correct way. gorgeous view of Ship 38 as it rolls to Massey's. Here's one from Severin saying, do you think we'll have more booster or B18.1 testing? And do you think it still needs repairs from Ship 36 Big Boom?
It's likely fine. I don't know if they're going to cryo test it anymore, but I'd expect maybe one more where they, with all the actuators attached, and then they do one big test where they'll squeeze it, they'll twist it, they'll bend it, they'll basically do everything they can do with all those actuators, as well as push up against the new thrust puck that the booster now has. I'd expect something along those lines at some point. At this point, they've been just trying to get Massey's back up and running just so they can at least cryo test 38. If they have it for testing this, then my guess is that stand is good to go as well. So there's a chance we see parallel testing between the two over the next few days, so you can get it out all at once. So your Massey's isn't closed for too long, because you need construction crews in there to finish up the new commodities trench they're going to have, as well as all the new tank farm systems they're installing for the rebuild and upgrade of Massey's to Block 3. So,
yeah. Also, by the way, Jack, Gina is asking from the UK, those things that we see flying around the big mobile light, are those moths or giant mosquitoes?
It's a variety of bugs, mosquitoes, moths, any other sort of winged insect. There's various flying beetles. Yeah. There's also giant mosquitoes. Like, there's regular mosquitoes, and there's, for some reason, giant ones as well. I don't know what's going on with that. Welcome to Starbase.
There you go. And we see it now.
But hey, it's on Massey Way now.
So it's on its way to Massey's on Massey Way?
mm-hmm.
I think they finally cleared the highway at like 4:11, 4:12 local time. So not bad. Not bad at all.
No, except for them pushing it all the way to the end of the window just to keep us awake for it.
Hey, but then we've got to get a little bit of extra chicanery in there, you know?
Yeah.
We would not have had the same chicanery, that's for sure, without it. Which John, with the name Mr. Coffee in his name, with the super chat for coffee supplies. Thank you very much for that. I don't even drink coffee, but I'm willing to drink coffee after tonight. Also, while we have you, Jack, and we talk about road closures, Rockhopper was saying, you mentioned in the past that access to the beach may be stopped in the future. Can you explain this in any timelines?
Oh, I don't know that I've ever really said that. Maybe somebody on one of our streams has speculated about that possibility. The thing about beach access in Texas is it's written into the Texas state constitution that I forget the actual wording, but essentially it's very difficult, even for a corporation with special privileges, shall we say, to close a public beach like that. That said, for the longest time, people have asked things like, oh, would they build another road or, something like that to the beach? And for years and years and years now, my answer has always been, no, there's not really a way they can do that. The Highway 4 is kind of built on the only high point. But you know what, Sawyer? As time has gone on, and as Starbase has changed more and more, and now it's a city unto itself, I wouldn't be really shocked if SpaceX closed down beach access entirely. Again, I don't think that's possible. But I wouldn't be surprised if suddenly a gate went up someday, a couple years down the line, around the restaurant area right there where the hard checkpoint normally goes up. And that road, that section of Highway 4, all the way to the launch site, becomes a private road or something, and SpaceX builds a bypass around the launch site to the beach. So it's like, hey, if you're going to the beach, if you're a general public person, you go this way. And if you're, if you're a SpaceX employee going to the launch site for work, then you go this way. That, I used to never think that was a possibility, man. But, Starbase, it's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. And who knows what the future holds. I think the only certainty is that it's not going to stay still and stay the same, and that's always why we recommend people visit Starbase now if they can, because it's not going to be like this forever. So anyway, that's my long-winded answer for you there.
There we go. So Ryan, as it now turns towards Massey's, what is the timeline that we're expecting? What do they still have to do once they roll it into place at Massey's to get it ready for cryoproofing?
They basically have to set it down their correct orientation, hook up the ship QD, clear out, and start loading it. Basically, do any system checks, leak checks of the QD, make sure it's good to go. Just kind of some pressure testing, and then they can load it with LN2 and LOX. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a cryo test underway when Ship 37 rolls to the pad tomorrow night, or tonight, I should say. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they cryo as quick as possible, just so they can get it back to the production site as quick as possible.
Yeah, it seems like they really want to try and pick up the pace to make up for lost time now.
They got a lot of lost time to make up. A lot.
I mean,
they're behind.
How long has it been since Ship 36 decided to no longer exist in one piece?
Like 5 weeks.
It's been fine. No, I'm talking time lost as a whole, for especially this year for this program. They've lost a lot of time.
But to answer Sawyer's question, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
they're at a high point with Flight 5 and 6, even with the divert of Booster 13. They're at a high point, and then, man, it just dropped like a stone.
Well, yeah, that's also because those flights actually worked, and then 7 and 8 and 9 decided to, basically pull a 1, 2, and 3 again.
I really hope when Block 3 happens, we don't see another set of teething issues all over again. I'm kind of expecting it. In fact, I would wager that we do see some teething issues. I don't think they'll be as bad, but I really hope with Block 3 they can hit the ground running, learn from previous flights and not regress or stay the same, but really kick this program into high gear and start getting closer and closer to meeting some of their objectives, like getting a refilling test done, getting some Starlink dummy sats deployed, not even real ones. I'll be happy with dummy sats. Like let's just get something deployed, please. I really hope so.
Yeah, I mean, we were all after the issues in Flight 1, although at least we'll have most of this resolved in version 2, and then version 2 just laughed in all of our faces and said, about that, I'm just gonna not want to work right. I mean, at least we got to Flight 9, although the re-entry was off. But anyway, we have a lot of things still to come now, so make sure you are subscribed so that way you keep up to date with all the testing. And again, the fact we have another roll coming up with Ship 37. But I want to thank everyone that joined us here tonight. The team out in the field, Caesar rolling out with the camera, and then of course Jack rolling out with the camera and the commentary. Thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah, no sweat. It's funny, I'm basically going to go to sleep, or try to, then wake up, and then do Shuttle Sunday with you and Chris, and then try to sleep, and then wake up, and then shoot another rollout, and then try to sleep, and then wake up, and then shoot cryos and static fire. Like we got a whole week ahead of us of really fun activities. Also, really just want to shout out to Caesar, who was also killing it tonight with the views. He was going to try and follow the ship on a skateboard. I think some battery stuff prevented that from working out, but still got some cool shots. And we'll have it dialed in tomorrow for 37, because after all, this was just an appetizer to the main event tomorrow night.
Yes, and thank you for joining as well, Ryan Weber.
Yeah, it's always fun to get on and talk Starship. I won't see you guys tomorrow night with 37 because unfortunately I get to be at work. But I can't wait to see a ship sitting on the OLM ready for a static fire. It's gonna look just ridiculous when that happens.
The chicanery that will happen as a result. Yes. Speaking of
Chicanery.
chicanery, the toilet man himself, or, well, that's a terrible way to word it. The one with the sound effects, Kevin Michael Reed, thank you for pushing
The
button
what?
for the leverage
The
tonight.
What?
The one with the toilet sound effect, okay?
Wow, that was.
Wow.
I am so fired. It was nice knowing
Wow.
everybody. I've been Sawyer Rosenstein for NSF. We'll see if I'm still with NSF tomorrow. It's why does it last that length of time?
And
Somehow
that's-
Kevin found a worse sound effect than the cat sound effect that he has. He
And
found a
that's-
worse one.
I was gonna say, and that's where the stream went. What? Okay.
Yeah, as the stream goes down the toilet, I'm Sawyer Rosenstein. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good one.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, Atlantic.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Thanks. You bet. We don't need any more of these.